Hi, this is Ross from VSM. In this video tutorial we're going to be covering the capacity reports around licenses. This view that I have on my screen now is of course a customer view. If you're a VSM business partner, you will of course have to select the customer first before getting into Capacity Manager. So within Capacity Manager reports, if we have a look at these two reports today. So the first one is license reports. So this license report covers all of the licenses in the system, and we can select a date range. So of course with VSM we can go back in time up to 13 months and get some really good trending information. We'll touch on that later. I like to select weekday to weekday, particularly for this customer, because on the weekends they have a pretty significant reduction in staff numbers. So that weekday to weekday gives us a good picture. So here's the report that's been formulated. It's sorted by default in alphabetical order for the licenses. If we want to process that a little bit further, best thing to do is to export that via CSV. Here it is, that's come down from the cloud onto my local workstation, and I've now opened that in Excel. I select all cells, format, auto fit column width. I've now got all of the cells in a position where we can read all of the text. Probably the best way to view this report is to sort it. So we go into data, hit sort, we'll sort by capacity, and we'll sort from the largest to the smallest. So that's going to show us the licenses that are most heavily used or consumed. So we can see here, so from a service management perspective, I highlight these three. They're looking pretty close to being exhausted. We can see that with this customer they have no remaining BCMS measured VDNs. Their station capacity is at 97%, and their video capable IP soft phones is 87%. So they're really in a situation where they need to start thinking about budgeting for an expansion of those licenses. A good way to look at that is to look at the trending side. We can see how quickly they're growing that way. So that's kind of a snapshot in time, that report. If we jump back into the other license report, which is the license trend, that allows us to break down the licenses and look at the rate of consumption. So that's really helpful in the budgeting scenario. So we go into license trend. And one of the licenses that does tend to move around a lot is the logged in ACD agent license. So it's a very expensive license to purchase and a very expensive license to maintain. So it's particularly important that we right size these licenses. Again, I like to choose the weekday to weekday scenario. Then we get a true picture of consumption. So I'm comparing Monday through to Monday in November there. I select the logged in ACD agents and run that report. It's going to show me the value of the license, the purchase license, across the period of November, and it'll also show me the peaked logged in agent count that we encountered during that reporting period. Now this particular graph, the data in behind it is mined at quite a high frequency, so it's quite granular. It picks up small changes in the number of agents to take into account shift changes and agents log in, logging out. So it seems to be far more variable than most other licenses. So we take a real good close look at this. So we can see across the reporting period here, this top line, 630 agents were licensed throughout that time period. If the license was upgraded at some time during November, that brown line would step up to its new value. If the customer decided to park some licenses, which some customers do to reduce their maintenance cost, and this customer could possibly drop their license count down to maybe 500. That's going to reduce their maintenance they're paying to Avaya. If that was to happen, we'd see that, because that's a real figure. And as I say, this green line is the maximum number of logged in agents. We can see on the weekends that's substantially reduced, and the red line across here, that is showing us our growth, and we can see that that's just about static for November. So in terms of running out of this license, at this stage this customer's got no problems there. They've got quite a bit of spare overhead. But in a situation where the licenses or consumed licenses are growing, we can forecast when that red dotted line will meet the brown line and give the customer some pretty firm data to base decisions, purchasing decisions and budgeting decisions upon. So I hope you've found this report useful. And as usual, any feedback, any suggestions or any comments, feel free to drop us an email at support@vsi.com. Cheers.